Is it creative
Produced for Nirvana, Pixies, Jimmy Page. Okay.
tool, like for someone to use a sample of an existing piece of music for their music? I think it's extraordinarily lazy.
But wait, there's more.
I understand. You know, there's seconds that we spend trying to master something, and there's seconds spent trying to not master something. You know what I mean, guys? Like,
You think the people doing it should be embarrassed for behaving this way. What they're doing is cheap and easy, and everyone else can tell that it's cheap
legit 7 years is what they say to become an expert at something.
and easy.
Lazy, cheap, and easy. This is how a lot of people see sampling. Honestly, at times I don't blame them. Taking someone else's music, copying and pasting it, and then putting your name on it can be lazy, cheap, and easy from a production standpoint.
Sampling. What do they mean by sampling? Hold on.
This is how a lot of people see sampling. Honestly, at times I don't blame them.
Sampling.
Taking someone else's music, copying and pasting it, and then putting your name on it can be lazy, cheap, and easy from a production standpoint. But here's a problem. This argument doesn't actually make sense or hold up. Now why? Well, today I want to explain why sampling is not cheap, easy, or lazy, and I'll show you 3 pieces of evidence that will convince you. This is serious stuff, guys.
He's right. Sorry.
On taking this case all the way to the Supreme Court, but I will need funding, so a steady income of likes and subscribes will be enough. Thank you. So let me submit the first piece.
So another career path that I gotta like research and stuff. Oh goodness. Alright. Sampling. I never tried to make a beat. We could do making my first beat stream.
Of evidence. The footage I showed earlier was from a documentary called Copyright Criminals, and in it, this is the famous example that they use.
MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This 1990. Heavily samples Rick James Super Freak.
MC Hammer's Can't Touch This using Rick James Super Freak as a
I thought they were the same song, but I thought it was just one song. No?
sample. And to give the devil his due, I kind of agree on this one. From a production standpoint, this is where sampling can be cheap, easy, or lazy.
Alright. It's changed it.
This is pretty much how MC Hammer's beat was made. Not all that impressive. But let's take another song.
You can make a whole YouTube channel about that song and make a living off it, you know? There's a niche for everything, and there's a niche for everything that could be, like, made onto YouTube, bro. Like, I think at one point, every single video that can be uploaded will be uploaded. Never mind. That's a little far-fetched. I don't know what I'm talking about. Listen, all I gotta say is, bro, I'm just thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking, bro. Well, that makes no sense, right? Like, how could I, like, what am I even looking at, bro?
Song Kingdom Come by Jay-Z. Now what might surprise you is that this beat uses the same sample. In fact, Just Blaze, producer of this beat, even uses the exact same piece that MC Hammer did, and this sounds drastically different.
My lips have been incredibly dry, fam, but I have not been drinking that much water today.
When you break down how this beat was made, it's anything but cheap, lazy, or easy. First, Just Blaze pitches the song down, making it sound slightly different than the original. Then he isolates all of these pieces and breaks the song up into tiny little chops. After making all
Hey, at least he's doing work, though, right? Like, he's transforming the song, like, even if it's minor changes. Let's be real here, you know?
all these chops, he creates an insanely detailed pattern that absolutely floors me whenever I think about it. Not only that, he also takes an entirely different piece from Super Freak and creates a switch up, which fits perfectly with what he already made.
Totally freaking like altered, bro. Like, those are not the same songs, bro. But I like what you did with this song. I don't know what app this is. This is not like, what app is this? Is this Fruity Loops? I can't tell. No, Serato. Okay. I like it. It's like color coded. HNJ. I don't even know what I'm looking at here.
And this is what gets left out of the sampling conversation. Yes, copying and pasting does exist, but what about this? When sampling goes way beyond copying and pasting, is this still lazy? The amount of work required to piece together microscopic little chops in a way that actually makes sense can be grueling. Another great example of this is Jay Dilla and how he made Little Brother.
We rep the ain't gods, ain't nobody can't start no party like us.
Never heard this, yo. We gotta react to that song one day.
What he managed to do was find every microscopic
But seriously, I can't tell if that Apple logo on his laptop is like RGB or not.
period of the song.
And if there isn't RGB on Apple laptops, there needs to be, bro.
That had no talking.
That way I can see it in the dark a little easier.
It's the equivalent of
That way it can keep me up at night when I'm trying to sleep. Nice RGB.
someone solving a 10,000 piece puzzle in record time. This sounds normal to you, and that's the thing. Like, he made it sound fluid. He made it sound like it was an actual loop.
You can see how many different pieces Dilla uses and how far apart they are from the original sample. The way that he pieces it all together is just incredible, especially when you consider how hard this must have been using limited hardware.
Back then, even though it was limited hardware, it was still the right place, right time. It's hard to, like, recreate that. No, it's not the proper term. What is a proper term here? Yeah, it's hard to just live it when I haven't lived it.
Now listen.
I don't know what sampling is, though.
So the question still remains, is sampling truly an art form? In these examples, the producers are still using other people's music to create their own. Yes, putting together a 10,000 piece puzzle is impressive, but isn't the puzzle's original artwork what's more impressive? So is sampling cheap because the producers don't create the
Now, calling it more impressive, like the same impressiveness. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's a time cost effectiveness thing, bro. You know what I mean? They probably spent more content on the original work. More hours, right? It's like an hourly thing.
music themselves. Well, yet again,
That's why doing reactions is tough, bro. Like,
this is yet another side of sampling that never gets talked about. Let me submit the next piece of evidence here. Are You That Somebody, produced by Timbaland, which uses this sample.
the meters. People say 1974.
Now, hopefully you notice something about this example. The music that you hear in Timbaland's beat doesn't actually exist in the sample. The first thing Timbaland does to make this beat is he takes this one note from the sample, and he uses this single note to create his own musical idea.
To truly understand it, don't you gotta like recreate it, or just like do the thing, like make the sounds like yourself or something? Like from scratch, bro, like a from scratch recipe. No, I wouldn't say more understanding, but I'd say just a different way of understanding, like, just covering all scopes of the topic.
But But still, this isn't the full idea just yet. Timbaland then takes a second note from the same sample, and he creates this second musical pattern that works perfectly with the first one. So here, Timbaland is taking single notes and creating his own musical ideas. He's creating music where none existed, all with samples of single notes. This is showing real musical ability, all through the use of samples. So is this easy, cheap, and lazy? It's not copying and pasting. But again, there's a third argument against sampling that gets made all the time. So let me ask you a question. Let's say you had no idea how to make music, and I gave you two choices for an instrument that you can use to make your own song. Option A, you could use a guitar. Option B, you could use a train. Now, if you're a sane person, you're obviously going to choose a guitar because that's an actual musical instrument. But this is where sampling can go even beyond traditional musical approaches. Case in point,
Facts, yo.
System Blower by Death Grip.
Oh, he didn't show the view count. That's actually good though, right? Also, I want to see the view count.
Now, the sound that
Whoa.
you heard in this song is a sample, not of an instrument or a pre-made loop or a piece of music. Here's a sample that was used. It's the sound of the SkyTrain in Vancouver. This is the piece here that was used from the sample.
Sounds like a race car. Wait, was it? I'm sorry. That's a train. Okay.
And when we add some effects and distortion onto it, we get a beat.
I never really experimented with this whole side, bro. I've always been into like just video editing, the little like small amounts that I do.
So how is this a cheap or lazy idea? Surely it's easier to make a song out of an actual instrument than the sound of a train. This is something that we see all the time when people use samples, like JPEG Mafia using the sound of a man wailing for the main melodic idea of his beat here.
Bullet on the block with the Glock cocked. Got the screen drop. Bullet on the
And this
Okay.
is the problem with saying something like sampling is cheap, easy, or lazy. Right now, you can find many people that say the same thing about AI
I 100% understand them.
art, for example. But there's a difference between making AI art like this and AI art like this. Every
What?
art form or style has its cheap,
What was that even, bro?
easy, and lazy version, and its amazing, complex, and difficult version. Sampling is no different. To say an entire art form is one or the other is to be willfully ignorant, in my opinion. There are so many
We gotta get this guy a better mic, yo.
cases where sampling is evidently much harder than just picking up an instrument and playing some notes, requiring much more creativity, technique, and effort. So that is my case for sampling. What do you think? Is this convincing, or do you still think sampling is for losers? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe. If you want some more video essays on beat making, check out the one next to me. Otherwise, I'll see you next.
Well done. It just makes me want to try to become a producer, bro. He's got a business and everything. Why is he not verified? I don't think he might not have applied for it. There wouldn't be hip hop without sampling. To call a whole genre cheap or lazy is wild. Another banger, Navi. Sampling is far more of an art than 90% of those people who play their own 2 to 3 quantized minor. Quantized what? Who's this? What? It's guys. I'm not gonna say my opinion. I'm just gonna have one question before I end here. Doesn't that look like a sample of Nickelodeon's logo? Like similarity, but like it sampling. Like, do you call it stealing or do you call it honoring, bro? Like I'm honoring the work by transforming it a little. Maybe I don't know, but anyways, I'll see you next one. Why am I uploading? This is a live reaction. What am I doing, bro? I'm so like, oh gosh. Delete that. I don't know what I'm thinking, bro. Like, I'm going to end the stream though. Let me just I've got